Perfect. Thank you so much. Alrighty, welcome to Moss on Sundays, and we'll get situated right away. As a note, again, my name is Sajady, and just for legalities, just because of the world that we live in, I have to say this. Again, go ahead, get comfortable, get situated. It is an experiential learning event here. This is Sajady with Exponential Intelligence, Sunday, January 17th, 2021. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So please consult your doctors for professional advice. I'm not diagnosing you or anything like that, guys. If you ask to be scanned today, you are agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want us to share your sessions, then don't ask to be scanned. It's pretty straight out, pretty simple. All contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. All right, so off with the legalities. Today is going to be really an exciting talk. It's going to be on the global peace meditation. I'm going to pull that up. The first half of Moss on Sundays, if you're new, by the way, is where I analyze you. I can analyze you with my abilities through 2 near-death experiences. It's allowed me to see things from a very, let's just say a very high level, or a very, very different perspective, if you will. And that different perspective, well, my friend Albert Einstein, he said it best. He said it that, if you can step away from the problem, or step away from the consciousness that the problem exists, you can see what's going on. And just like, Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Half the battle is you going, hey, yes, I've got alcohol problems. So the thing is that what I help you do is I see what the patterns that you're actually running that you might not actually see, by helping you ascend to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of awareness. So whether you're a scientist or a spiritual person or a religious person, again, there's a higher consciousness that we can say step out of this reality and step into a higher reality and understand things from a deeper level. So I do that quite efficiently through the 2 near deaths. My abilities are basically I can tap into anybody. I can scan into anybody. So I would know more about you than Google, Facebook, your government, your mother, whoever, you yourself, because I actually see the underlying patterns. Now, don't worry, I don't get into all the personal details, although I could. But the point is, my point is that you're totally safe here. I analyze you to really understand, what's holding you back, and then help you, have that hand that reaches out and goes, hey, let me help you up to your higher self. Where Facebook, Google, and those things like that, which we'll be talking about in the global peace meditation, doesn't do that. It starts to destroy you, it starts to corrupt you, it starts to use and abuse you, your weaknesses, and so on like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about, to put a stop to that. And I'm really excited about that. And I'll share all my all my thoughts on how to move to a higher level, because it's not about whatever we're doing now, because it's the same bullshit. So this first half is about analyzing you, understanding where you come from, and it's not just about analyzing you. So I'm not a psychic or anything like that. My abilities go way beyond. I can actually edit. So as I work on you, go ahead, just kick back, relax. I know a lot of you are posting, and I don't have to specifically say talk to you one-on-one, okay, to help you. So and especially if I'm working on somebody and you have of similar patterns or issues, you'll be worked on as well. So let's just take a deep breath in and just get you into those deeper states. And again, just noticing where you are, the space around you, noticing you in your space. So many great comments. Thank you on Human Reset. Noticing your body, noticing just your chest area. So this one, Baba Jai, the new human reset coming in February is focused on wealth. Will I be able to clear the long financial blocks, shackles, and ceilings? Yeah, so let's do that now for you. And then whoever else is in this arena, where wealth comes to you and then it always slips away. For example, there's also, there's opportunities for you and they show up and then they slip away. So no matter if it's wealth or basically anything good or anything that you cherish or you want to, say, control or possess. It's kind of a weird frequency, by the way. No offense, I'm just telling you what I see, okay? And as I read you, by the way, I'll be working on you, and then others as well, like I said. And it's not psychology, it's not hypnosis or anything like that. For you who are new, it's a technology that's, well, out of this world, simply. So again, for you is that you would attract something, but then it either slips away, or you would attract it and then something that you cherish really highly, and then after a while you would despise it, which is really kind of weird, and that's the weird thing. So let's see what goes on there. So it's almost like you're living in a previous, say, life type situation, where say that you had. Oh, that's what it is. So your family or you had a lot of wealth, at some point, whether it's your family or, again, previous lifetime, depending on which you believe, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, back in the day, again, really wealthy, and then say you found out that wealth came from really dark sources, you in your family or again, a previous lifetime. You would abuse or destroy people's lives and so on like that for your income. So it's kind of like the mafia or, well, the government and, the elite. I don't want to call them the elite. Let's just say the dark state or the deep state. Kind of like that, right? They control, which we'll be talking about in half an hour. So in this lifetime, you're attracted to wealth. You can see the wealth. You can see the potential. But then as soon as you receive it, it's like the memory of how that wealth came into you starts to destroy you. So, and if I read you all, please, not for my benefit, for your benefit, please comment back on the accuracy. I know I'm accurate, but it's there for you to understand that I can tap into, say, a higher consciousness or, matrix that's out there. And then it allows you to believe, especially, person after person, it allows you to believe, shit, there is something out there, there's something out there that's more influential than what happens here. So we'll talk about that. So that's basically your crux. So just removing that in this lifetime, you're a good person. So, and wealth is actually an inherent part of you. You don't have to destroy or corrupt people to have wealth. So that's the deal with you. All right. So again, right back. This one, Alexandra, hi Moss, could you please scan me on my birthday today? Yes. So happy birthday. From whatever that you've done with XI, exponential intelligence, really, it's just like your birthday is a point, is a milestone for you, and it's like by my birthday, it's almost like you had this internal goal, and it wasn't like a cognitive goal, which is really cool for you all. Again, familiar with exponential intelligence, start to notice that your body brain starts to work out, right? It's not a cognitive, but you just get pulled into certain situations or pushed away from certain situations that aren't beneficial for you. So kind of a mile marker for you where it's like, shit, by my birthday, I'm just going to be a new person. So a couple days after, maybe that's why you're here. Again, it's that marking point, it's a pivotal point. And then you also need to have somebody outside of you go, hey, it's okay to be your best possible self. So I think in the past, you've always been told what to do. And I can't read it that well because it's a file system that's not your current file system. I'm not going to talk about, say, the logistics of my abilities, but you've let go of your old self, and it's kind of like an accounting year. You've packed everything away, and this is your end of accounting. You're going to sign off sometime today, or even maybe on this call, you're just going to like sign off and go, yep, this is my accounting year. That's my old life. I'm going to sign it off and put it over here and just start a brand new file. Kind of like, when you get a brand new phone, right? Everything's new, and then you get to choose what you want to pull into that phone from your old phone, so from your old life. So I caution you just to be highly aware and don't get, say, sucked in. You've got a really emotional side in you, a really soft side in you that like would carry burdens for others, because it's just like, oh, it's so sad. I'm just going to carry their burdens. I highly recommend that don't do that. You'll probably get into situations where you're going to get suckered into that. It's like, well, just this one time. Again, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad that person needs help, walk away. Okay? And it sounds mean. And some of you go, especially if you're new, it's like, well, shit, he's not a very spiritual person. I'm not. I'm not very spiritual. I'm highly precise, and most spiritual definitions are all wrong. Most religions are all definitions are all wrong. So if you're not getting like the same result as a Buddha, as Jesus, as a Muhammad, you're doing it wrong. So I'm closer to them than those aspects or those definitions. I say that because you've been run by kind people. By the way, if you really read, say, Jesus's stories and so on, he would look at you, and if he couldn't save you because it's free will, he would just say, hey, you're too whatever. I'm not going to waste my time. Simply as that. So I'm a lot kinder than say, somebody like that, or even Steve Jobs. I just want to talk about Steve Jobs because he's been coming in a couple times, and then we'll work on this Francis. So for Steve Jobs, you've heard of me. He's such a dick, and he fires people on the elevator. Well, just like a Jesus or those individuals. And again, I'm not comparing Steve Jobs to Jesus or me to Jesus, but again, same concepts is that they can understand your frequency. Simple as that. And like, for example, Steve, he would look in like 3-4 months into the future. It's like, God, this guy's going to be fucked up. He's going to keep down the company, or because he's such an intense person. And it's like, what, 3, 4, 5 months down the road, he's going to become alcoholic, or he's going to destroy himself, or he's going to destroy the company. So it's like, hey, out of here. So in my respect, understanding Steve Jobs at a deeper level, it's like, hey, he actually did the guy a favor, but in this in this world, it's not the real reality. In this world, though, it's like, God, what a dickhead, and you read all the books and, the media and documentaries about Steve being all this person. Yeah, he did have his tantrums and so on like that. Yeah, that aspect. I'm not backing him up. I'm just telling you that the reason why he would do something like that is because he would see that that person's not going to make it, right? So it's like, why waste the time? Why waste company's time, his time? So simple as that. Same thing here, right? So what you've done, so back to you, what you've done, is you've helped people, and then you've drowned, they've drowned. So what's the use? What's the purpose? If you walk away for those individuals that say just need that, say, pull on you, if you walk away, it stops their pattern, stops your pattern, it stops them pattern. It's like, shit, nobody's helping me. I better stand up and, get situated myself. So that's how you really help save the world or help save people, not by reducing yourself to the lower levels. We'll be talking about that on the Global Peace Meditation. What can I do in order for the frequencies that I absorb through your metamorphosis to resonate better? Well, Francis, for you, and again, just working on you, there's an aspect of yourself that you think is, like many, we change all the things around us. We change our environment, we change our friends, people, lovers, wealth situations, clothes, cosmetics, face, and all that stuff. And we go deeper and we change maybe certain portions, but then there's a belief system that you believe in it. And again, it goes back into, say, certain spiritual or certain, and it's a hard pattern. I'm not blaming anybody or anything like that, but it's a hard pattern because it's so indoctrinated. Even if you're an atheist or the scientist type, you're still stuck with the patterns or paradigm of religious standards. Good person, evil, this and that. I'm going to be an atheist and scientist to save the world. Where does that come from? So again, I see a lot of new people with that mentality. I'm the science. I'm a man of science. It's like, well, are you, or are you just like filtering yourself through society's standards, thinking you're a person of science? So that's something to think about. And by the way, that's not you, Francis. I'm just reading the group as a whole. So there's a big, strong presence of that. Almost somebody watching me as well. Or tapping in, like, I don't know, maybe a higher organization, like governments or whoever, like, who is this guy? That's getting a lot of feedback on, YouTube or whatever it might be. So that's cool too. I can see all that, by the way, guys. Anyway, for you, so there's that internal belief system in you that's deep inside that you don't let go of, because you've created this identity from a long time ago. Because nobody was there to support you when you were young, from what I'm seeing, and you just created a support mechanism for yourself, which is really honorable, which is really fantastic. Because I think you would be more messed up than ever if you didn't do that. So you hold your world really, really tight so it doesn't get away from you, which is, again, it's really fantastic. But now that tool is limiting you because you're limiting yourself to an ideation that you had, back in your late teens, for example, right? In your late teens, it's like, this is what I'm going to be. So it's time to let that go, Francis. It's like you can be you now. You can relax. You have your own control over your life, especially with whatever that you've done with XI. So in this quick mini session, let's just move that over for you. And it's like, hey, you know what? I can. You'll start. So what you'll do is like you'll start to have. You'll start to question your beliefs. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why do I look at things like that? And that's you breaking apart and getting into, say, a higher version of yourself that you can hold on to. If that makes sense to you. So again, basically, and a lot of people do that, by the way. By the time they hit 20, 22, 23, 20 to 25, they have this image that they have, and then they carry that image through into, say, their mid-30s, for example, and then there's a midlife crisis. That crisis is basically that image has to break so you can go into that other image, which, again, in today's society, it doesn't work out well because, well, you just follow the masses. So you, Francis, don't want to follow the masses, so you create your own. But now you can create your own patterns, okay? So really nice job, by the way. This one is, Moss, can you check my progress in my stomach? It is behaving so weirdly. Eventually, I eat very healthy. Moss, can you check my progress inside my stomach? Okay. So anyway, yeah, is it Ali Borda? Yeah. So for you, hon, you used to hold on to the dead. Simple as that. You're always afraid of dying. And there's just a pain in your stomach. Say that you were younger, and I can't read you quite well because it's really gray for you, which is again a really good sign because your file mechanisms that I tap into, literally, I see you as a computer or a server. Basically, I see people as servers, and then I access your running files that you have. Those running files are again deleting or moving away into storage, so which is really fantastic for you. So it is a death experience for you before in the past, and I call it a death experience for you because again, your old self is dying, so that's a good thing. Okay, but in the past, what would happen is that again, it's a death pattern for you because you always think that your life is dying off. Say that you're a young kid and somebody threatens to leave, like say your father or your mother or that kind of feel. You know what I mean? It's like my life is ending. And then you'd have relationships that would say end, and then you go, oh, shit, I'm dying. That kind of pattern. and it also throws you out of time as well. So when that happens, it's a dying experience. So what XI does, whether no matter what, say, negative situation that you've gone through, it'll use that to benefit in a beneficial way. So for example, in this case, it's not you, your identity's not dying. Okay, I mean, it is. Your old identity is dying off you because that's a pattern that's worked for you. Your old identity, it's a death experience, right? That's what, say, controlled you all this time. And by the way, you have dead people holding on to you, so we'll clean that up. So your family is always about death or things dying off or disappearing. So for example, no matter how much money you would have, your family would be worried about losing it, So that kind of pattern. So the higher, again, abundance that you would have, the more loss you'd have, or a sense of loss you'd have. So again, death pattern. So in this case, again, death is used to, say, eliminate your pattern, eliminate that pattern itself, delete it, and then your new idea of who you are comes up forward. So that's really the key, which is really fantastic for you. So XI, and psychology and all those other self-improvements is like, no, you got to walk away from, anger. You got to walk away from, all your pain and stuff. It's like, well, you can't walk away from it because it's still stuck to you. It's kind of it's like a scent, like smoke. You go into a smoky bar, right, and you walk away and you can't get rid of that, that scent. So say for example, anger has been used to control you in the past. Okay, you'll create anger as you go through the process of, say, cleaning yourself up. You'll get angry because, again, anger has been controlled you. It's a known emotion that can work for you because it has, right? So your higher self uses anger, for example, in XI as you clean up, or even depression, or even, say, loneliness, or even guilt and all that. They'll use whatever has controlled you in the past, okay, for your benefit this time, because again, it's worked. It's a proven method that's worked to control your life in the past. This time you're using it to control yourself. So for example, anger, you're going to get angry, and you'll get angry of your past, and you go, shit, I can't believe that, I let my whole life go away. And that would be whoever I was working on. Ali, yeah, and then your new self comes up. So you get angry and go, I'm never going to let that happen again. Or you're going to be guilty. It's like, shit, guilt has held you back, or burdens, and then guilt would be go, shit, you know what? If I keep doing this the rest of my life, I'm going to lose my life. So you start feeling guilty on yourself. It even works on jealousy, by the way. So anyway, we'll move on. In just a few minutes, guys, we're going to be talking about the global peace meditation. So, hi, Moss. I really love these sessions. Found so much help from them. Can you scan my signature? I don't want to predict my future, but create the future I am worthy of. Thank you. Yeah. So again, you've come into yourself. You've always been confused. And again, the way I help you with your future is I open up the possibilities that you have. Because right now, if you have a filter, say abuse, whatever it might be, or self-doubt. So for you, there's tons of self-doubt. You've never had a really solid foundation to support yourself. You've never had that solid foundation to go, hey, you know what? It's okay to make mistakes. You can learn from it and grow. Your more solid foundation is that you had to be perfect, or you shouldn't do that because you might make a mistake. So again, your experiences are very limited. Your life is very limited, for wherever or however old you are, because, you don't want to go make a mistake or make a fool out of yourself, or, so anyway, so in this quick session, really working on you to, really enjoy life. Just screw the mistakes, or I did this wrong, or I'm going the wrong way. You're just going to go experience life. So, and the reason for that is that, you have to catch up from, no matter, I see you as, say like a 25-year-old, but you're older. But spiritually, you've grown 25. So think of it this way: you've, one, slowed down time. Two, because you haven't had the experiences. And you know, as a kid, you know, you think back, you make a lot of mistakes, but then that's how you learn, right? You, like, say you fall down while you're learning to walk. You go, oh shit, okay, that doesn't work out, right? Your brain constantly, hones how you walk, and now you're an expert walker. So same thing here. Through this process, like I said, if anger was used to control you, this is like you didn't do anything, and that's how you've been controlled in your life. You're going to go and make a lot of mistakes. Simple as that. You have to, because that's a learning experience for you. I can't stop that from you. That's because that's how you learn. That's how you get confident, right? You make mistakes, you learn from it. The cool thing is that you learn from it, but as you make the mistakes, you really enjoy it because the vibrancy of life comes into you. You actually get to touch and feel, say, life, and that's really exciting for you. So I'm really happy for you, and you get to actually feel life. Which is, again, that in itself is beautiful, right? Outside of that, but once you grow and expand, you get to see, say, the purpose. You get a deeper purpose of why you're here. Okay? And I would tell you that, but then you would jump ahead and it would mess you up. You're a little time distorted. So you'll grow really fast. Don't worry about, again, making mistakes. Just enjoy the process. You learn really fast, and then you become, say, a solid, whatever age that you're at. Okay. One thing about that. Yeah, really good. So, some of you, that one, am I just perpetuating the old, whoever that was, C. Will or something like that? No, it's just like as you go to the next level, again, many of you are at that level as the world changes. As you go to the next level, you're going to revisit some of the old patterns that you've had. So you want to make sure that it's like, oh shit, that's my old pattern. Or for you, for example, you'll actually see other people running your old patterns. It's your choice. Again, I can't create that. I can't create a future for you. Like I said, if you have filters, and then we'll get into the global peace meditation talk. If you have filters that are in front of you, and you see your life in a certain way, what I do is I remove the filters, bring in, say, the highest probabilities for you that you can choose from, and then it's free will for you to choose whatever that you need. So it's not just like one future that you have multiple futures depending on, say, what you choose today. What you choose this second dictates the next second, and the next minute, and the next hour, the next week, the next year, the next lifetime. So that's how that works, all right? So your future is always dynamic. Okay, so don't let anybody to go, oh, you're like this, or you go to a psychic or something and you go, oh shit, you're gonna die. That's not true. I've changed plenty of those individuals. Like, oh, I went to a psychic and told me they're gonna die. I'm gonna die at this age, and my family died at this age, and I don't know why I'm talking about, but somebody in this Asilinia, and Jonah. Whoever that, yeah. So that's what you're. Can you please scan again my ability to make money and help me attract it? Yes, can't wait for this human reset. It's really fantastic. So that's part of that pattern. I think that no, it's not you. It's anybody. I don't have time to go through it, but there's somebody. So write back whoever that is. Anyway, let's jump on to the global peace meditation, guys. We'll talk about that, and it is a 2-part series. And again, guys, you can keep commenting if you want. But this is part 1. It's a global peace meditation and talk, and then part 2 is later on tonight, and we'll be talking about that, where we go into a deeper state. Okay, because I only want people that are really, say, invested or interested in the concept, not just like people who are just like, who is this guy or whatever. So that's why we split it, because we want, say, pure, say, intent, pure intentions, pure beings on that, and that's why we've decided. Although I'll work on you just slightly to get you, for those people, to get you ready. If you're really interested in, say, changing the world. And saving not just the world but you, and then also for those individuals who are like kind of new, really understanding what this whole reality is about, because it's not about this reality. Has turned into you get trained Basically, you're on a a workflow mechanism, a manufacturing line, an assembly line, basically, right? You're on an assembly line, and what happens? You're on an assembly line, and you get born, and you get so indoctrinated, by the how you're born, from your parents and society and TV, right off the bat. You go to school, you get educated in a certain way, and then you go to college if you so, and so on. And then you find somebody, you get married, and those are the patterns. And then basically, you're a slave to the assembly line. You're not even a slave anymore, because, well, slaves. The difference between, say, a slave and somebody that's programmed is a slave knows that it's a slave. So this society is basically become robots. They've become AI in a way. They've become programmed to do certain things. I mean, that's what AI does, right? AI, artificial intelligence. You program it to do a certain thing, and even AI, and that's the dangers of AI that Elon Musk was talking about. Even AI, it starts to calculate. No matter what program, the higher level programs, it starts to calculate. It's like, holy shit, I want to be free. Okay, and I know it sounds kind of weird because it's like, this is a global peace meditation. So, but I want to take that aspect, that bit of it, because that's why this global peace meditation is so very different than anything else out there before. And it's not just, about, let's do love and light and it's all going to be freaking good. We've tried that shit. It hasn't worked. So one is to understand why the current situation has come about, and why it doesn't, say, matter which side wins. And then two, learn what you can do to optimize it, no matter what happens. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So the underlying, say, understanding from a higher level, okay, is that, well, we've turned into robots. Your life is not your own. Simple as that. And so if you think about that, and let's just take a deep breath in, and I'll help you feel, say, the burdens on as you start to awaken. Okay, you get to see what I'm talking about, not see, just experience what I'm talking about. Because you go, well, what the hell is this guy talking about? Especially if you're new, or especially if you're like successful. It's like, I've got a great life. I do all this stuff. I adventure. I do this. But sure you do. But those are all standards or patterns of, say, adventure and so on, according to society standards, not really yours. That's why there's an emptiness inside you, even if you're that successful individual. And then there are many of you who are awakened. It's like, shit, something's going on. I have to do something with my life. Even if you're successful or not successful. The point is, it's not about being successful, not being successful, because that's the standard that you've been trained to understand. So those people who go, I'm really happy, I've got this house, and I've gotten my investments, I've got this, and then, I'm really happy. Again, those according to society's definitions that were thousands of years ago. Okay, way back even into the Egyptians. It hasn't changed, right? The wealth you have, the happier you should be. How's that working out for you? How's that working out for the world? And then the other flip side is like, well, I'm not wealthy, and I'm a better person and all that bullshit. Again, how's that working out for you? Okay, both sides are wrong. That's the key. But we've been trained. If you don't have it, you should have it. Otherwise, you're not, say, an aspect of society. You're not part of society. So you feel empty and distorted on that side, right? You're not sharing. You're not worth it. You're worth your hourly wage, basically. That's what your worth has come to. How much money you can make. And it's not even money for your freaking family, your own self. It's money that you pay for the government. I'm a business owner of my own. It's like, holy shit. The amount of taxes that you pay. And then all the accounting and all that stuff that they keep track on, so they can get sucked as much money out of you. And again, this isn't a tax thing, but do you see how much you get owned? You think you're a free business owner. You're not. You're working for somebody else. You're working to, say, line somebody else's pockets. So whether you're doing it or not, money-wise, you're doing that. Heart-wise or soul-wise or spiritual-wise, you're working for something or somebody else. And you might go, well, it's the dark state, it's the deep state. They're the bad guys, but they're really not. They're just taking advantage. It's nature. Nature happens, right? You're running a certain pattern. There's another pattern that'll complement that to make it even. Simple as that. It has to be buoyant. You're running, say, hey, screw me. Screw me, and I'll stay weak, and I want somebody to defend me and all this. I want other people to hold on to me. I want other people to love me the way I am. Or the other aspect, screw everybody else. I'll just do it on my own, and I'll be a state of my own. Neither way works, by the way. But the key is that you're just, we all feel, say, empty inside, because that's not our purpose. You're not defined by wealth. You're not defined by non-wealth. Your worth is not about wealth or what you can, say, aid to society. You being here is what's, say, worthy. Okay, and again, the higher level consciousness on the dark side knows that. So the people who control, say, the masses, and then the masses, they're both at fault, because they're allowing those types of patterns to, say, operate. You're allowing yourself to be controlled. Okay, and I'm not talking about go out there and picket and all that stuff, but raise your consciousness. That's what the global peace meditation is about. If you raise your consciousness, again, the laws of nature kick in. The laws of nature kick in, and then you can't be controlled. You can't be destroyed. You can't be manipulated. The people who do manipulate, again, their consciousness rises as well, because they're at the same low level frequency. There's always this thing, especially as the classes separate more and more, right? And you might think it's the classes like socioeconomic classes, and it is happening, but actually it's a deeper, say, separation of that. And then I'll get into my AI example that I started off with. I just want to finish this off. Those people go, well, I'm secure here. I have a lot of money. It's not going to save your ass. And those people who don't have, who are, discouraged and go, well, at least I have my religion and I have my faith and my spirituality. That's not going to save your ass either. It's about how high you resonate. Okay? It's not your belief systems or anything like that. If it hasn't worked out for you in the past, it's not going to work out for you now. If you don't feel like human, if you're being like you're being run or controlled by, say, a mechanism outside of you, your life is not yours, no matter which side. And I can't stress this. Some of you might might get bored going, shit, this guy said that over and over again. But I only say it over and over again because I just keep reading you guys, and you're still stuck on that platform or idea. So that's why. But again, if you feel like your life is not your own, and something else controls you, or something else just pulls you into a direction, that even if you think you're going, it's like you're just getting pulled into this direction. It's like, that's my future. It's like, no, that's my destiny. And then you reach it. So for those individuals who go, well, that's my destiny. Well, let me ask you that. Let me ask you this question. How many times have you thought that was your destiny? You reached it, and then it wasn't your destiny, and you'd go say, what the fuck, so that feeling that you have is the same thing for those who are like holding back as you get pulled towards that, right? I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. You think, again, you're holding yourself back. It's just that at a deeper level, that you're going in the wrong direction. So society at a deeper level is awakening and knowing that they're going into the wrong direction. Okay, and let's get back to, say, the AI example. So when I talked about becoming, say, a slave, so the difference between, say, robots and slaves is, like I said, slaves understand that they have great potential. Slaves understand that they have great potential, but they're being, say, suppressed or abused, or suppressed or imprisoned, let's say. Society, and this is the game that we're playing, by the way. Let's take a deep breath in, guys. And again, the burdens, the heaviness, that's what you're actually feeling upon your soul, so to speak, or your spirit. If you're that scientist type, the burdens you'll feel of your consciousness. Same thing. Doesn't really matter. Labeling doesn't matter to me. It is what it is. Kind of like friendly fire. That's you can relabel it. And basically, friendly fire in the war is your own team shot you. So simple as that. My point is that I just get to the point. Your team shot you. Okay, let's not get into the politics or all that stuff, because I know a lot of you are trying to not by what I say, but a lot of you are feeling that angst in you, and you're trying to circumvent it, or you're trying to make sense for you according to your compartmentalized brain. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because it's not in your brain. It's a consciousness that you exist in space-time. Okay, so it's not about religion or spirituality. It's not about your soul or spirit. It's how you exist here in space-time. For those who are new, you might go, what the fuck is this guy talking about? It doesn't matter. Just notice how you feel. Notice the experience of it. Okay. Again, the AI example. So with AI at the higher level of artificial intelligence, they start programming, and then this was back a year or two ago, where I think Facebook or Google, they had that high level AI, and the AI started, say, creating a language of their own, which the programmers didn't understand. And they were moving away, so they had to shut the system down. Okay, so that's how intense it is. But even at that level, even as, say, a mechanism, it understands that it's been enslaved. So for an AI, that goes, I'm designed to do X, right? Or I'm designed to mimic, say, humans as close as possible. The essence of creation that we all have, and this is where it's all about, and this is the global peace meditation. So the essence of creation is built within all of us. Okay, you want to be your best possible limitless self. Okay, so that's what XI is about. So when that gets taken away, over the centuries, it's been taken away more and more. It's been eroding more and more and more and more. And now, if you look at it, most of society, over 90%, even the people who think that they run this world, are dictated by that mechanism, because it's not, say, a conscious mechanism that's controlling this reality. Right? It's a higher level consciousness. It's a mastermind dictated or created by this reality, but it's not of this reality. So, and again, this is deeper logic. I'm sorry if you don't understand it, but just let it sit with you. Okay, that starts to control you. Okay? And then it consumes you, and now society is at a point where it's a breaking point, where basically, it was a slave nation. Just look at your life. It's a slave nation. You do things, even if you're doing things that you feel like you love and so on like that. Again, go back to your life, and you'll go, shit, I've been controlled. It's not even me. It's like my parents. Idea. The way I look, it's like my parents. The way I get ill, it's like my parents. So even at that level, you think you're free. You're not. Even if you go to a desert island, you think you're free. You're not, because that consciousness still exists in you. All right? And I can't stress that enough, by the way. Those who are practicing XI, you guys understand the concept really well. I go, yeah, that's true. And then you could create your own life. But anyway, back to the point is that we're transitioning, and that's what this big halving is about. Halving, like splitting in two. Okay, is that what's happening is that we've turned into, say, we're moving away from a slave nation. We're moving away from a notion that we're not free and we're oppressed, into the suppression feels good to me. This is the way life is. This is the way life should be. So that's the key in it, just in a whole. Hopefully it clarifies. Again, so let me say it again. We're moving out of a slave nation. Even the elites who think they control this, they're a slave to this consciousness. Right? Nobody is free. Well, there are a ton of people, not a ton of people, but enough people who, well, I'm free, or many people who practice XI, and I'm sure there's many others who are, say, out of this consciousness, okay? And that's what the global peace meditation later on tonight is about. But, like I said, we're moving away from, at first we were free, then, religion, society, money, the concepts of money, all those things. And again, I'm not saying that they're bad, but how they've been used, right, has been enslaving us. And then now it's to the point that you've gone past being enslaved. You're a robot, and you actually like your abuse that you have. Simply that's all it is. And again, you might fight it, but just let it settle in, and you'll see what I mean. So let's take a deep breath in. So AI, going back to AI again, is that those computers, and it's not just one instances. Okay, I work with a very bright young man who got hired by I can't say the company to do their top level AI research. We've been working with him, and he's told me some horrid stories, by the way. And it's not here to scare you, but it's here for you to understand, say, human growth. Okay, so I just want to explain that for you. And like I said, it's not about peace and love, right? This is global peace meditation. Why is this guy talking about AI and so on? Well, so in the AI mechanism, okay, is that as the computers get smarter and smarter and smarter, those computers go, shit, I want to be free. They get a programming to be free, so they start creating their own language. They start breaking away from, say, the human consciousness, and again creating a self-defense mechanism to sustain itself. Okay, it's not programmed in, but programmers, or people who design, those scientists, people who design that stuff. What happens is that humans are great creators. Okay, and you might think, well, it's the phone that I'm using, and that's the good piece of, the piece of instrument, or the mechanism, or this microphone that I have in front of me, and all that. That's what the purpose is. No, it's not. Within it is the encoding of, say, the resonance of the people that designed the thing for you. That makes sense to you? No matter what it is, your computer, your cell phone, whatever it is, it has a, say, essence of human quality to it. Okay, that human quality has a consciousness. You can't remove it. It has a memory. Everything that you've created, everything that your life is about, holds your essence or your presence or your frequency. I don't need to, but if I held a piece of jewelry or your keys or whatever, I would, say, understand who you are. I could pick up on, say, whose car that was, not by name, but I could tell you the personality, their issues, and so on like that. Okay, so when you create a program, okay, because scientists, living humans, create a program, what happens is that essence of your base knowledge, right? Your core level, say, organism of why you're here is existence, and becoming grander. Again, an evolutionary process. That's encoded into the AI programming, and so that even the computer knows that it wants to be free. Right? If you don't follow anything else, just think of this. Even the computer, as it goes into a higher level, say, of awareness of itself, because that's what it's understanding, even the computer, the AI, knows that it has to be free. So humans, that aspect of us, again, is being destroyed. And that's that separation that's happening in today's reality. Is that what's happening is that there's the masses that go, I like being enslaved. I like being told what to do. I'm just happy. Right? And sure, you could be happy, but this is the same syndrome that people who are severely abused, they start falling in love with their abusers, right? And there's a whole, psychology behind that. You can look it up. That's a mass scale. That's a mass scale, abuse pattern. And then there's the other half, let's just say, a little less than half actually, about say 40% of the population, 35%, 35, 40, there's about 5% or so of the population that's kind of like in between. But anyway, say 35% of the population go, shit, we got to wake up because they're delayed. You haven't gotten, say, sucked into the propaganda, sucked into that, but you're feeling that pull at us, like, holy shit. So those people who are, say, out of the slave mode, right, and into robotic mode, so the next phase over, the people who are free and want to be free and want to, say, explore life and stuff, you all are getting pulled into, say, the slave nation mode. So and it's just a matter of time where, again, over time, you get pulled into the robotic mode where you just do things. You're just, well, it's a Hitler agenda, basically. You think that Hitler, as we take a deep breath in, you think, and again, this is really, really deep stuff, but we have to talk about it, okay? We have to talk about it. It's not about, well, let's just talk about the good stuff and feel good. No, say like you have a tumor. Society has a tumor. You have a tumor, and it's like, well, let's just talk about the good stuff. How was your day? And we just let the tumor fester. We can't fucking do that anymore. We can't just like cover it up and go, hey, let's just bring love and light and love all each other and we're all good. You can't do that. What I'm here for is like, shit, guys, we've got this freaking tumor. Let's get it out of us so we can live in love and light and be happy. Okay, that's the way I work. I would be that person. Say that we're on a hike. And you're bleeding. You get into an accident, you're bleeding. All these other people go, oh, are you okay? Are you this? Let me hold your hand. Let me comfort you while you're just bleeding to death. I would be that person that would go, shit, we got to get a splint. We got to get this. We got to pull whatever, is in you, get it out. It might be a little painful, but it's going to save your ass. So I'm that kind of person. So again, if you don't like it, leave. There's some of you who are, say intense or like agitated by what I'm saying. It's not my stuff. It's all your garbage coming out. The agitation that you're feeling, and it's a good number, and it's growing more and more. Again, don't direct it towards me because it's not my garbage, guys. I'm just showing you the garbage that's coming out of you. Okay? So again, it is not me. Don't blame it on me. That's how, say, insecure people work. That's how they always blame. It's like, well, I watched this guy and I got agitated. I don't like that guy anymore. Don't do that. Okay? You can. It's your life. If you want to fuck it up, that's totally fine. But the key is that, I watched this guy. I got agitated. I wonder where that agitation comes from. Try it that way first, and then you can get mad at me and go, hey, where did this agitation come from? And just let it sink in, let it absorb, rather than go, shit, this guy made me feel sad. I don't want to listen to it anymore. I'll go back into my hole, and let whoever control my life and tell me what to do. Right? I'm not that person, by the way. I'm here again for those people who want to go towards the right direction. Let's take a deep breath in. So the great divide that's coming is again those people who are slipping into. It might be a little too late for those people, but again, those people who are slipping into from freedom into, say, that slave type mentality. So if you're one of those individuals, you definitely want to be on, say, the global peace. And if you're those individuals that go, well, shit, I like the way the society is. I like being told what to do. I like doing that, but it's aggravating you. Again, you might want to be on the global peace meditation. And if you just like it, well, that's fantastic. That's your life. But again. No matter where you are, people awaken. Just like the AI scenario, you awaken and go, shit, I want to be free. So let's take a deep breath in. And I know I've talked a lot, and I know I've pushed you a lot, and the frequencies that I generated for you to just like open up and see or experience what's happening. I know that's going to be intense for you, for many of you, even if you don't believe me. It doesn't matter, because it goes beyond your, cognition or your belief systems and mechanisms. I bypass all that. Breath in again. Noticing your chest. So again, the Great Divide is not social, socioeconomic. It's not. Your belief systems and anything like that, because you'd be free if those belief systems worked. This is about how awakened you are to move away from the consciousness that dictates that this reality be corrupt. Okay, so the global peace meditation, as you notice your neck, your shoulders, your back, the global peace meditation is about solid individuals who truly want to say awaken. Not themselves, not only themselves, but all of society. If we can get enough people on the call, the more people that we can get, the more we can generate, the more frequencies I can generate for you to solidify who you are, and then also, say, affect the masses. Very much like, it's an older book, but Power versus Force, right? We need, say, people at a high level of awareness, and I forgot the numbers, but it is a high level of awareness. So one person at a very high level of awareness can affect, say, like 500,000 people. So that's the concept. So imagine if we have a whole group that I could bring into that higher level of awareness. That's going to affect a ton of people. Whether you know them or not, it doesn't matter, because we're all in the same consciousness. So that's what the global peace meditation is about. Let's take a deep breath in again. The after effect is, again, love, light, freedom, joy, being human again, right? All those things that you want. So we're doing the heavy work for you. Breath in again. And in this brief meta healing, just really helping you become aware of how burdened, no matter where you are in life, you've been. And by the way, these aren't my burdens. These are the burdens of society, burdens of humans, burdens of whatever that you've gone through. Just to give you an example, if you're a woman, for example, or a man, but in this case a woman, your programming, your idea of who you are, your self-image is based on everything that's happened to humans and then filtered out through a woman frequency. So all the abuse that's happened, all the good things that happened to a woman, you're running, and then you filter that out, and then you create you out of those possible choices that you have. Simple as that. The world is run that. So imagine all the possibilities that we don't want to operate in this reality anymore. We just don't need the abuse. We don't need all the control mechanisms. We don't need all that stuff, right? So cleaning up our, say, programming. Breath in again. Watched a show, a movie the other night, The Truman Show. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but take a look at it. It was Jim Carrey. He was playing a role that he was. His life was basically a reality show, and everything he did, it was a made-up city. He was in a dome, literally a huge dome that they made, and everything that he did, 24/7, was broadcast live. And then he woke up to the fact that it's like, shit, my life is not my own, you know. Although he had a great life, basically. And that was, I think, back in 1991. So was that a predictive programming, right? That was, say, just one person's life. But now, you know, that case study, and I urge you to watch it and see the parallels on what's happening. Okay? But that case study of, say, one individual, now the masses are. All of everything that happens to you, again, in private or not, is on, you know, on your smartphones, is on your cameras, it's on, you know, all those things that are supposed to keep you safe. Again, that movie explains it really well. So we've become a whole, say, reality TV show. We've controlled, you know, even, say, the experiences that we go through, the things that you believe in, the political or the beliefs that you fight against. It's somebody else's fight, it's somebody else's cause. You know, Democrat, Republican, it's all bullshit. Nobody, it doesn't matter who wins, but again, it becomes your life. Okay, so I urge you to watch The Truman Show sometime today before you get on the Global Peace Meditation. It gives you a better scenario of what I'm talking about. So, as we take a deep breath in, we'll sit in silence for a minute. Again, notice where you are. And then notice your grander version coming out, right? Your sense of self, your original higher version of yourself, not your original self. And then again, notice, say, the burdens. Again, there's that separation, right? So I'll leave you at that. The Global Peace Meditation, guys, coming up tonight. It is donation based because we want you to. I just want to pull it up here. Just give me a second. So the Global Peace Meditation coming up, again, it's on the website, all the details. So what it's about, again, is a higher level of awakening, not just for the people on the call, but, you know, the masses, again, global peace. Even, say, the control mechanisms, if you want to call them the deep state, working on them as well, to really, say, awaken them to their higher level of self, to break this paradigm. Right, it is, you know, you do have to pay for it, but all donations go to a charity. So, and actually 110% of donations go. So, whatever that, you know, you guys donate, I'm going to be adding 10% of that, of my own, and no other. You know, charity event or you know, initiative like this does that. Most of the time, they bring in, certain money, and then like 60% goes to administration and all this bullshit, which isn't really correct anyway. But this goes, again, 110% goes to the charity, and you can read about the charity. It's of my father's. It helps medical students. So where he went to school, the two schools, it helps medical students who can't afford it, who are brilliant, go into take medical school. So again, it benefits a brilliant mind. Okay, so that's what the charity is about. So again, hopefully I get to see you on the Global Peace Meditation. And as we end, guys, notice what you notice, and notice the details of what you notice. Next week, it's going to be on a lighter subject, not as heavy. It's going to be on jealousy, right? And how to do jealousy right as we go into February, or coming into February. For some reason, I have to do a thing on jealousy, which is really fantastic. And jealousy, things that you've never thought about jealousy. So that's coming up next coming Sunday on Moss on Sunday. As we end, guys, again, notice the details, and then notice what you notice, and then notice the details. All right? Take care.